but very few people will understand what it's like to be recording videos in public. Well, not just any videos, but videos with wisdom and insight. 'Cause that's on another intellectual plane, of which not many people exist on. Do you want to get ice cream?
Yeah.
Is Gelato's place
if,
or
if by that you mean millions of dollars, yes, that's fine.
ice cream and
If you're talking about the actual, no, fuck no, 'cause I don't have time to.
I don't do cream.
Yeah, I don't do cream.
And I don't do ice either because we're from Texas.
Yeah.
It'll
melt
we
instantaneously.
cook eggs on cars.
Basically.
It is what it is, though, brother. How are you doing, Austin?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. On this hot night.
Beautiful night.
The sun is not out, and it's still relatively warm.
It's like what,
Texas,
95, 96 easily?
Yeah, it's probably, yeah. But anyway, hey, welcome to the AM Club Podcast. We're coming to you live from another undisclosed location that you can't know where we're at. And if you do know where we're at, one, I don't know how the fuck you would know that. Two, get out of our business. Three, we're coming to you live with a great podcast today.
Yeah, what's new? Nothing.
Hey, nothing's new.
Hey, listen,
same shit, different toilet.
Consistency is key, baby. Same shit, different toilet. That's a good one. That is a good one. But y'all, today's topic is something true and dear to us because we are currently in the process. And I think to a degree you're almost always in the process, but there's moments when you're more into this process. And that is today's podcast topic is foundational foundations.
Foundational foundations. Now, most people when they hear that, they might be like, "What the fuck are they talking about? Did they just sound this? Did they just say the same word twice?" We might have, but here's what we're talking about, right? We're sitting on a chair, right? And potting right now. We're talking to you.
Yeah.
And in order to sit on said chair, right, and pod and do what we want to do, we have to be sat on a solid foundation, which is what the floor or concrete or a sidewalk, whatever you want to say. You have to have that foundation in order to do what you want to do. If we were in the fucking air trying to pod, that shit wouldn't work because we'd be falling out the fucking sky.
And we'd be falling to a foundation.
Yes, to a foundation. And then, once you get to the foundation, it's splat. You're shit out of luck. But basically what I'm trying to say is, in order to do anything, whether it's listen to a podcast, whether it's, start a business or anything that you want to do in life, you have to lay the foundation in order to do that. And you might not even have realized the foundation, but you have to lay it.
And a family. You have to lay the foundation for a family.
Yeah, anything in life. Anything in life takes a foundation. Even if it's some negative shit, some bullshit, bad habits, even there's a foundation of bullshit that you've been doing in order to make those bad habits a repetitive thing.
To make those bad habits into habits.
Exactly. So,
but that's actually a good. When you reference, there's a table right in front of us, and there's a chair that we're sitting on. Each individual chair, and that makes me think of the fact that not only is there a foundation to support those structures, but there's actually a foundation to the structure itself. As in, like the table itself has to have a foundation in the legs, and the chair itself also has a foundation in the legs.
Right.
So that's like to stand on top of a foundation. You even need a foundation to support you. So that's a perfect example of foundational foundations. If you don't have one thing on top of the other, it's not going to build anything.
And do we want to get biblical?
Yeah.
I think we can
get biblical with it.
So can you remind us, we were talking about this before the podcast even started. There is a verse in the Bible that describes how someone should build a house, or how a particular person in the Bible should have built a house. And the way that you would have thought initially would be like, what they're telling me or what God is telling me doesn't sound right. Like, he's saying, don't build my house on sand, even though it seems like it's solid and firm and that,
And it's easy. It's easy to build it on the sand.
Exactly. Like, it seems like that's what I think that's what I should do. But instead of saying that, he said to build it on a
Rock
solid rock,
or stone.
stone. Now that doesn't sound like, and when you think of a rock, you're thinking of like maybe like a boulder, a big brown boulder or something like that. It's like, how am I gonna build a house on that instead of when I could just build it on fucking sand?
Because it's easier. I don't have to drill holes. I don't have to get on top of it. It's right there.
Right.
It's quick. It's easy. It's
Right.
simple.
But the thing about that is, if you built it on sand, say you're on a beach and you built it on sand, when the tide comes, it's gonna wash all that shit away, and that foundation that you thought you had is not going to be a good foundation. I'm sorry, there's a motorcycle driving by and it
There's a lot of
sounds
things
like
going on
dog
right
shit.
now.
Good dog shit, dog shit. Anyway,
Good talk shit. But talk
back
shit.
to what I was saying. If you built that foundation, or if you built that house on a beach, it would wash away the foundation. So what you thought originally was a good foundation turns out it wasn't a good foundation. And honestly, that's kind of how life works. That's how business works. Even if you think that you're doing the right thing because it's comfortable or because, oh, this seems like the right thing to do, sometimes you have to challenge yourself, think outside the box, and be innovative on how you do certain things in building your foundation and be meticulous about how you build your foundation.
Calculated, like we talk about.
Exactly.
And adaptive.
Exactly. And building on a rock is adaptive. Instead of, doing what you think is something that is the right way, you're doing something that, hey, I'm planning ahead. I'm thinking of all the things that could go right, things that could go wrong, and the rock is the better foundation for what I want to build my house, my business, my life around, as opposed to the sand, which is easily movable. It's not firm, it's not solid, it's just easy to fuck up not your foundation, but what you're trying to build on it. So if you build that structure, the foundation first, then your business, your house, everything on top of that will live in abundance so much more.
Well, and I was burning to say, because you touched on it, but like you kissed it. You didn't go all the way. But it wasn't quite a home run yet. Listen, y'all. But the point that you hit, hang on. We're gonna let this pass by.
Just listen for 2 seconds. You see, we're telling you about all this great shit on how to build your life, and you know what people are talking about? Well, we're trying to tell fucking Barbies. Are you gonna get rich off of fucking Barbies?
Unless you make Barbie, though.
Unless you make it.
That's another.
But here's the thing: they already fucking made it. So
yeah.
Well,
you make Barbie 2.0?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you could, but you have to have a good what?
Character? Foundation.
God damn it!
No, but listen. Character is foundational. Though.
Yes, that is true.
So I'm not 100% wrong. I'm only like 50% wrong in regards to what Austin thought I was going to say. But this is what I was going to say. Okay, so I can't build the same house on a stone or on a rock that I would necessarily build on the sand. And the reason I say that, because when we mention adaptability and you have to adapt to the situation, you might actually have to adapt your foundation to fit on that rock or the stone, which means that your resulting structure is going to be altered. So you have to not only adapt your foundation, but you might actually have to adapt, we'll call it the model that goes on top of the foundation. And we always preach adaptability. So if your foundation has to be adapted, then that works even better.
Ooh, bro.
Yeah,
hey, we're kicking on all cylinders. Look.
Hey, we woke up. We woke up.
To enhance his point, right? You can build a house with a basement in fucking Oregon or some shit like that. You can do that in Oregon, right? Because the environment around it allows you to do that. The foundation allows it to be built that way because of the environment around it. However, you move to Texas, you can't build a basement because the foundation and the environment around the foundation is different. You have limestone underneath the ground. You can't build the same. You can't build the same, business, house, whatever you were trying to build because the environment is different. So if you're trying to build a solid foundation, right, you may not be able to build that foundation the same in every place that you go or with every person that you're trying to meet. If you're trying to establish a good foundation of communication with someone, it might be different depending on where you are, who they are, their personality, and all that stuff. It depends on the environment and a lot of other what's the word?
Variables.
Variables. Yes, factors. So again, you have to be adaptive on how you do this and how you build that foundation, because it's not just copy paste. A lot of people think that, hey, life is copy paste, business is copy paste, and then when they try to copy and paste it and they fail, they're like, damn, I followed something that somebody else did to the T. Why didn't it work for me? Because you're not that person. Maybe they have a certain level of charisma that you don't have. Maybe they have a certain level of business acumen that you don't have. Maybe they have people around them that can help them.
Environment's huge.
Exactly,
Like
that
Austin said
establish
earlier.
that foundation. You don't have that.
Mm.
So you have to be adaptive with how you establish that foundation, because it's not going to be the same in every place, and it's not going to be the same for you as it was for somebody else.
It's the same thing when we said 4 feet and 8.5 inches.
Oh,
like what works to get you from one level to the other is not necessarily going to be what works to get you from this level to the next level.
right.
And so when Austin's talking about adaptability in that sense, and how the foundation, how the environment of the foundation is going to affect that, because you can't copy and paste that foundation on somewhere else and expect it to work. You can't copy and paste a strategy from somebody else and expect it to work, because it's limited to that 4 feet 8.5 inches, which also might be a different size somewhere else. So that is a big factor. Now we have some asshole with his lights in our face. You know what?
Hey, but we look good.
We do look good.
I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that reminded me again of another thing. So this is actually one of probably the most difficult thing about establishing a foundation, right?
Oh yeah.
It's dirty work. Have you ever seen somebody try to build a house, right? Initially when you're building the house, you may not even be able to see how the fucking shit is gonna turn into a full blown house with, high ceilings,
big
chandelier up there,
big
a nice
stairwell in the
big
entrance.
stairwell, pool, all that shit. You might just see a whole bunch of wooden fucking sticks of a pole, a hole in the ground. You're not gonna understand how that's gonna translate into a full grown product at the end of it. Because all you're seeing is the foundation. You're just seeing the initial. Did this dumbass forget to turn his lights on? What the fuck? Anyway, fuck it.
Listen, bro,
But-
that's beyond me.
Yeah. Hey,
That's crazy.
But
how do you forget to turn off your fucking lights?
hey, well, his car's gonna die, and he's gonna come back out, and he's okay.
There we go. Okay, all right.
Anyway, so
sorry, you're not a dumbass. You just,
yeah, but initially, when you're building the foundation, it's going to look like shit to a bunch of people. People around you might say, "What are you doing? What are you building?" Like Noah with Noah's Ark.
Yeah, they don't share the vision, bro.
They don't share the vision. They just see, okay, you're putting a whole bunch of fucking logs together, and what you're gonna do it for what?
And for how many years? How long did it take Noah to make the ark?
It took some time.
I don't know if it was a year or like 8 months. Something tells me he did it very, very, very fast.
But
either way.
But here's the thing: to most people, that's not fast. To most people, they're like, wow, 8 months to try to see a product turn into something good? Really? I don't know. So go ahead.
You know what Usain Bolt said? He said, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds.
Ooh.
Yet people want to complain when they don't get to where they want to be in 2 months.
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. That 9 seconds that he's training however many years for translates into a lifetime or generational wealth for him and his family. And that's what people don't understand. Even though the foundational work might take some time.
Those 4 years of foundation, yeah.
It might be one instance where you meet the right person, where you say the right thing, where you make the right business deal or partnership that changes your life forever.
And that's the thing. I refer to it as potentiation.
Ooh.
Like you're just building potential energy till one point you just boom, you just explode and everything just clicks. And it's really fucking huge, man.
And the thing about it is, when people see that shit and you post or you let people know, they can be like,
overnight.
Overnight. No, it wasn't fucking overnight. the shit that we're doing is not fucking overnight. We've been
Hell
working
no.
for fucking months doing this shit, and we're gonna be working for years.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say years until we see, but we're gonna be
No,
working.
no. We're gonna go. There is no stop
There's no stop
until we sell.
until we sell, or until we die and sell. Sell and die.
Consultants, special consultants for our own company that gets acquired. I'm all right with that.
Right. But a lot of people think, again, overnight success, but they don't see the work that goes into it, or they ignore it. They think, people, they're just spinning their wheels.
Yep.
They're not doing anything. They're not really putting in their work. They're not rich yet. So if they're not rich yet, then they must not be doing anything, right?
Or they have no value.
They have no
That's the
value.
crazy
Exactly.
thing.
So
people don't see your fucking value unless it's objective society standards where society values the outcome and not the process. But,
and that goes back. So even fucking like, again,
foundation of society.
fucking, if you think about plumbers, if you think about people who actually build your fucking house, they might get looked down upon because they're doing the dirty work.
Literally.
But without them, none of this shit would fucking, this building behind us wouldn't be a fucking thing. This table wouldn't be a fucking thing. This fucking sidewalk that we're on right now wouldn't be a fucking thing without people laying the foundation. Exactly, without laying the foundation. You got to do the dirty work, and it's not going to be glamorous at first. It's going to look like you're banging your head against the wall, and people are going to say, "Why are you banging your head against the wall? Just get a good 9 to 5. Just get insurance."
Fuck.
I'm
Just
sorry.
get a 401k. Listen. They're all good things.
Exactly. We're not saying that's bad things at all. I have that.
Listen,
but
there's personal experience here. We won't divulge much, but in my instance, I've had people tell me like, you need health insurance, you need 401k, you need a stable income. But again,
they're not gonna.
They don't share the vision like Noah's Ark.
They don't see it. They don't see it, and that's honestly what takes. That's what keeps most people
at bay.
At good enough. They are at a level of good enough because their foundation that they built was very cautious, a little bit of calculative, and they listened to what their parents or the generation before them said. Hey, to live on a nice stable plot of land, here's what you have to do. However, if you want to live on a mountaintop,
reach new
heights where very few people can go, that very few people can reach, you have to challenge the way that you do your foundational and lay your foundational grounding and work. You have to change that. You have to be adaptive. You have to be innovative on how you do these things, because what you did to lay the foundation right here, you can't use that same foundational structure to get up here. Yeah. You have to change. You have to adapt. You have to innovate. So in order to reach new heights, you have to change how you do certain things. So when people may tell somebody, hey, look, that seems very risky. You got to play it safe. Playing it safe only gets you right here. If you have the vision that we have and that you have for yourself and to go far, that's going to be up here. And people aren't going to fucking understand it.
Health insurance.
They're not going to understand it. It's like, hey, what are you doing? You're laying a sidewalk with cement? We've never done that before.
We just use wood.
Yeah, we just use wood. Why are you using what's that cement? What?
Stick and dirt.
Yeah. What are you doing? See, but everything sounds crazy until it's done, and then it's something that people use for fucking ever. A phone.
Imagine flame flight. Crazy. Or did I say flame flight?
You said plane
flight. Yeah. That's what I meant to say. Or space travel. Or like I said, a phone. Those things were not conceivable 50, 60, well, further back for planes. But you get the point. And honestly, I want to add to that when we were talking about how, see, my brain is in shambles for good reason. But when we were talking about foundation, that's what we're talking about. Hang on. Bandwidth, guys. Bandwidth. You listen. I'm telling you, bro. But, so vision. Who is somebody to tell you that this is not going to work or that it's not a good idea if they have not done it themselves?
Exactly.
So you got to be careful the source of information that you take.
Right.
Because almost any advent or any advancement was made with the opinions of people playing it down. And a perfect example of that is Tesla. Elon Musk made electric cars into an actual viable market to the point where almost all big car manufacturers now manufacture electric cars and they sell. That was, quote unquote, the worst idea that was going to fail no matter what, and he made it work.
Right.
Don't listen to people who've never done it. If it's somebody who's done it, great. If not, be very wary of whose opinion you take and what words you value.
Right. Because they're trying to have you build a shaky foundation. They're trying to shake your foundation.
Because they want your foundation to look like their shitty foundation. Because they don't want your building to be higher than theirs, whether they acknowledge it or not. I mean, sometimes they have good intentions and they're really trying to just look out for you and make sure that you do well. That's a perfect example of parents or good friends and family who don't want to see you crash and burn. But if Austin was like, I want to build, well, that's technically why we're here. If I want to build a stronger foundation so we can build the world's tallest fucking building, I'd be like, cool, I'll lend a hand.
And the crazy thing is, most time, and look, there's a Tesla driving by right fucking now.
Hey, man.
We've seen about 5 of them
Demystify
in the last
the messages,
20
brother.
fucking minutes. So, the thing about that is, as well, when people see you, say if they see you grow up, most of the times they're never going to think, hey, that guy can change the world. That guy can be a somebody on fucking Forbes. They're probably not going to say that because they're like, oh, I've known you. You know, I haven't seen you do anything necessarily spectacular to me. So, you know, I don't even think that you,
Joe Schmo.
yeah, like, you know, yeah, you can reach for the stars, but how about you be safe, play it safe, and do this? But if you have that hungry, that work ethic, that dog in you, fuck whatever anybody else says. Don't let anybody shake your foundation. You build it strong enough. You stick to what you're trying to get to. You see those racehorses that have the blinders like
on.
this?
That's crazy. Yeah,
They can't see shit else but straight ahead in front of them. So when people are trying to tell you, oh, do this, the blinders might come off like a little bit like this, but you have to keep it shut like this so you can see straight ahead of you, and don't let anybody shake your foundation. If you do that, I almost guarantee you're going to get further than what those people might have thought that you would get. I'm not saying that you're going to be a fucking billionaire or anything like that, but it's possible. Again, you shoot for the fucking stars, you land on the fucking moon. Most people don't even want to don't even think they can get to the moon.
But they've never shot for the stars.
They never shot.
How can they know?
They never shot for the fucking moon because they're scared. You know,
it's opinions based on no data. So you think, oh, I can't get to this level, but in reality, you've never even tried to get there,
right,
nor surpass it.
Right.
So your own limiting belief has limited you to even trying,
right,
which is incredible. There's a quote from Socrates that says, "That really just happened."
Yeah, it did.
That was crazy. But it's a quote from Socrates that said, "It's a shame for any man to essentially reach the end of his life and never seen the peak beauty of the human body." Meaning, you never stressed your body to become beautiful, like strong, muscular, or extremely athletic. You never touched the cusp of what is your infinity. Ooh. What's the maximum level that you can achieve? So if you never challenged yourself, and you're sitting here thinking, I could never be rich, shut the fuck up, bro. You didn't even fucking try. You really did not fucking try. And that's on you. So if you want to go and be a poopy pants depressed motherfucker, by all means.
Poopy pants is crazy.
By all fucking means. Because I have absolutely no fucking sympathy for you. Because we're not even going to get there. But there's some shit that I would love to fucking say that y'all don't soft ass.
Go off.
To quote Bedros Keuilian, gelatinous titty having motherfuckers. It's true. You fat ass and won't get off your fucking chair. But I know that most of the people listening are
Speaking of, you see how big our chest is looking right now?
But the point that I'm making...
We're not gelatinous, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is like... And this is a lot of times people look at something that they've been through in their life, like a circumstance or a situation, saying, man, I had it rough. But you gotta shut the fuck up, because the fact that you had it rough is actually your advantage, because you came out on top of that situation, which means that you are better off than the person who had it easy, because you built character. And at the end of the day, everything is transient. Emotions, happy, sad, fucking success, failure, relationships, lives, cats, dogs, parents, friends, everything. The only thing that remains is fucking character. Period. Build that shit on a strong fucking foundation. No, fuck that. The foundation is your character. What's shown from there is only a direct representation of your character. Because if you don't have a strong foundation, that means you're a weak fucking bitch. And if you have a solid fucking sexy ass foundation built on the strongest fucking rock in the world, you're a bad motherfucker. And I salute the shit out of you.
And that was Jose's rant for today. I love it.
It only took like 20 minutes to get there.
I love it. But again, I'm his translator. So
Yeah, he's the filter and then the brain process of what I'm actually trying to say.
So I like what you touched on. So character,
gelatinous titties.
Yeah, that too. But character is also a great foundation piece for building your life around as well. So you have a good character that can take you a long way in life. And you know what? Not only just character, but you mentioned it a little bit. And I think we potted a little bit about this previously, or touched on it in a previous pod. Your beliefs, basically, are your foundation for life. What you believe.
We did. Think and grow rich.
Exactly. What you believe is what you build your life on. If you build your life on a certain limited belief or limiting belief, you may not be able to see over the mountain that says, hey, look, oh, there's more life out there. There's more shit that I can do. There's actually new realms and new ideas, new areas that I can go to expand my life. You can't see that because you put your foundation this high off the ground, right? And shaky, right? If you have beliefs that say, hey, look, no matter what the fuck happens, I'm going to make it out. No matter what fucking happens, I'm going to succeed. No matter what happens, we're going to put this work in. And I'm going to say, fuck how much it hurts. Fuck people laughing at me. Fuck people not fucking believing in me. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. That establishes a foundation that's up here. You can see over that mountain and you can get over that mountain, right? So what you believe strongly affects where and how you end up in life. That's the foundation that you built yourself on, knowingly or unknowingly, right? So before we close today, I challenge you to think about those beliefs that you built your life on and say, hey, look, is this a foundation of sand or is this a foundation of rock? Is this something that allows me to adapt and go further? Or is this something that allows me to sink and not grow? So you have to think about that when it comes to how you have structured your life and how you've structured the foundation of which your life is built on. So think about that. If it's wrong or if you don't believe in certain things or it's not positive towards you, change it, adapt. Or if you have a strong foundation, fuck what I'm saying and keep doing what you're doing, right?
And I want to add to that. It's kind of a hard way to make an analogy, but I'm going to make the analogy that somebody, you have foundations next to
You're a loser. You can't do this. That's what he's about to say. You fucking say. No, I'm just fucking.
I would love to go on a crazy rant, but I'm not going to. I'd love to pull examples and things close to home, but I'm going to tell you what. If you know me, you know what I'm going to say. And you know what I've lived through, and you know what Austin's lived through. You know what's on our heart. But we're not going to put that on you because quite frankly, at least at this point in time, y'all aren't there yet. But once you get there, we're definitely going to say something. But the point I'm making here is so say you have foundations, say you're living in the suburbs. People plant trees next to their houses, and trees can ruin foundations because the roots of the trees can be so strong that they can destroy the cement, they can destroy the fundamental structure under a foundation.
Talk about it.
So show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, I'll show you the future. The same concept applies. So it's even if you build the strongest foundation in the world, if you allow people to dig their roots, and a tree we'll say, it's almost like if you pull a biblical analogy from that. You could say that, the tree from Adam and Eve? Theoretically, it just uproots it's not great because that's a fruit tree, but think about it. The tree that could demolish your foundation just because of proximity, talking about environment. And so you have to be mindful that even if you have produced a strong foundation, even if you have laid the cement in a certain way, We have to be careful and maintain it. We have to
Right.
make sure that trees aren't sticking roots in there that will eventually expand and break, because roots are incredibly strong. But the thing is, that doesn't happen instantaneously, which is why when we talk about being congruent as a man, referring to Bedros Koulian and the difference between a fighter jet and a crop duster, you always have to do your maintenance. You have to make sure that your base every single day is taken care of. The count starts at zero. Who you were yesterday versus who you are today does not apply. Yeah, your foundation is built long term, but if you're not constantly checking that
Ooh.
foundation and making sure that the structural integrity is still up
Mm.
to par in order to support that huge monument that you have on top,
Fuck are they talking about?
if you do not do your routine maintenance to make sure that the structural integrity of your foundation is up to par, then imagine this: a natural disaster or an earthquake, something rocks your world or the world, your monument will fall. And not when monuments fall and you build a large monument, people die. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm serious. I think you're just laughing because you know it's me.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you have very real consequences if the foundation falls. Imagine you're employing people. Hypothetically, your monument is a business. You have to fire people. And this is true to home right now. Businesses are firing people left and fucking right because they overinvested. They were short-sighted. They didn't think long-term. They thought it was great to just bring in people. And now they're ruining people's careers. They're ruining people's lives. They're killing them, essentially, whether literally or not literally, because people are starving.
And not even firing people. If you build a shaky foundation for a business and you employ certain people, right, and your business goes under, then what do you have to do to those people?
Yeah.
They don't have a job anymore because you have to not necessarily fire them. You got to lay them off. You can't even afford them. So, how you structure your company, how you structure your life, how you structure your business, the foundation of that,
Foundation.
it affects everything. Because if you make a foundation that you stand on, and then you employ hundreds of people that they stand on as well, if that foundation breaks, not only do you sink, they sink as well. So this shit does not only apply to you, it applies to life, it applies to everybody. And how you build your structure, how you build your foundation affects the world, it affects the people around you, it affects your life, bro. So you have to think about this shit. You have to really, really think about how you build your foundation because it is, what is it, the butterfly effect. Like everything.
That's true.
Like it really just affects you today, tomorrow, the people around you today, tomorrow, months from now, you never fucking know. So
And bro, the fact that you just said foundation and people standing on their foundation, let's give you a quote from Sir Isaac Newton. If I see far, it's because I stand on the shoulders of giants. Your foundation serves to help not only your progeny or your family or your friends, your brothers, your sisters, but anybody who is blessed to stand on your foundation. Because the level that you ended is their beginning. And that's how society and humans progress and have progressed.
man,
Now, vernacularly, we have regressed, but that's neither here nor there.
Hopefully, everybody on this or listening to this podcast,
Read the dictionary, exactly.
Yeah. But hey, I think we've given you a great podcast today. And if you don't think so, fuck you. Okay,
but we still love you.
I'm sorry. I should have said that.
No. Listen, leave a dislike. We like it. Leave me a personal comment. Not Austin. Take Austin out of it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Leave me a personal comment, and we'll see the dialogue that ensues because it's not. We don't fight fire with fire. We fight fire with water or with earth foundation. We fight fire with stone.
Oh, earthbenders.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Tough.
Tough was tough, bro.
Hey. Hey, man. Again, another great podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you haven't, like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't done that, fuck you as well. And we'll see you later. We're out of here, man.
AM Club Podcast out.